If you've ever seen kids doing an Easter egg hunt or a scavenger hunt, they just go around like crazy. They're frantic trying to find as many eggs for themselves as possible. Okay, they're just hoarding and stuff like that. It actually reminded us of us adults in some ways, right? When the holidays come around, like Easter and Christmas and stuff, because we kind of promise ourselves that we're going to chill out and take it easy when they come along, but when they happen, that doesn't happen, does it? We find ourselves organising people and events and buying food and stuff, and we do so much that by the end of it all, we're kind of like, why did we put ourselves through all of that, you know? And it's not just being tired and exhausted at the end of those holidays like Christmas and Easter, but it's like almost being empty in a way as well, like finding ourselves like, what's worthwhile about it? What's worthwhile about Christmas? What's worthwhile about Easter? Because we just get sucked into running around and stuff. And the other thing that we get sucked into is commercialism, you know, and the commercialization of the holiday. Like Basti said the other week, he was talking about how Woolies, just after Christmas, started stocking up for their Chuck Easter eggs, you know? So there's a lot of commercialization, and we kind of buy into that sometimes, and we get to the end of it all, and it all feels like it's all empty and worthless, and you think, so what is the big deal about it all? So this year at Drive, we've decided to take a breather, to just relax, and we've decided to have our own Easter hunt. But this hunt is for the truth behind Easter, for what's real and what's genuine behind Easter. And most of you guys know that the Easter story revolves around Jesus, and so a lot of the times we're going to be talking about Jesus, and he is so true and real and genuine, and so a lot of the times we'll end up actually chatting about him. But I want to start off by just reading you a paragraph from the Bible. I really like this passage from the Bible, and I'm going to read it off the screen. It's in a part of the Bible that is got a lot of poetry and stuff like that. It was written by a very wise guy. His name was Solomon. It's for the purpose of gaining wisdom. But I really like these words because they're just simple. It says, "Two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm, but how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated. Everyone in Campbelltown knows that. No one walks down the street on that. But two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken." It's just so simple. The words are so simple. And we all actually know and agree with these words because all of us know how important friendship is in life. You know, we all know that friendship is an important thing, that you can't do everything in life on your own, and that you need friends. And so that's what I love about the Bible, because sometimes when you read it, not only is it simple, but you can also say it's true just by your experiences. You know, you can also kind of go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And so that's what this is all saying. You know, that friendship is just a very important thing. And I don't think it's just friendship that is important for us in life. But I think actually for us, we not only want friendship and companionship, but we actually want perfect friendship. We want friends that will always be there for us and won't betray us and won't let us down. I think that happens all the time, that we actually feel like we want that kind of perfect friendship. And the reason I say that is because we long for people that won't actually back out on us when we really need them. A lot of the times, if you notice, the friends, the people that are there all the time, almost become like our family. We start treating them like almost like our family. And sometimes our best friends tend to be members of our family because they're the ones that are always there, or they're the most. And I also think that just by experience, we also know that we never get that. We never get that perfect friendship because we see that people have let us down as well. So we kind of long for this perfect friendship. We quest for it. But then on the other end of it all, we find that life tells us by experience that we're let down, that people let us down. I actually found this out pretty early on in my life, like when I was 16, 17. So me and my sister, we went overseas. We went to Canada, actually. It was just before our last 2 years of school, or my last 2 years of school, because it was really a tough time and stuff, so it was going to be full on. So they said, "I'll just go away, you know, go overseas." And we went, just me and my sister. My parents stayed back. And when we came back, we found our life in tatters. Mum and Dad had decided to get a divorce while we were gone. So it was pretty full on. Like when we came back, it was just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? It was no secret. Mum and Dad couldn't really get along, right? But it was, you know, the last straw had happened while we were gone. And so when we came back, we found ourselves having to live between two homes, and it was just really full on. And my parents are great parents. They've always been there, never neglected us, you know, just always been around, always cared for us and given us everything we needed. And my mum was a really good mum, and she still is a really good mum. And growing up, you know, I always talked to her about almost everything, you know, like I'd just talk to her about everything that was going on in my head, and I'd even go to her and ask for advice, and she was a really good friend growing up. Actually, she might have even been my best friend, which is pretty weird, maybe, for you to hear it, but she was a really good friend. You wouldn't say that when you were a teenager. I wouldn't have ever said, yeah, my mum's my best friend. But she was a really, really good friend. But when I came back from Canada and all this stuff was happening, I actually thought, you know, I went and approached my mum, and I would want to talk to her, and I'd want to get advice from her and things like that. And she was pushing me away. She kind of had no time for me, and that's never happened to me before. Mum's always been there, so it kind of really confused me, perplexed me. I didn't know what was going on. And you know, that's when I learned that Mum was going through her own stuff. I couldn't really blame her because she was going through her own issues. She was having to move out of home and deal with all these things with divorce and stuff like that. So she had no time for me. And that's when I realized this real truth, right? That we all long for this perfect companionship, this perfect friendship, but life tells us that we don't get it, that people are inconsistent, that everybody is imperfect, that you can never go to someone and find that perfect friendship from just that one person. I actually think that's why some people find it easier to have pets, you know, because it's like dogs and stuff, because I think sometimes it's easier to have a dog as a consistent companion that will never let you down, and then people, because people are so complex and we find it so hard to find that one person that can provide us that perfect friendship, the one person that will never let us down. And just by life we know that it's inconsistent. People are inconsistent. But you know, there's something about Easter that's real and true and genuine when it comes to this deep quest for friendship. And I want to really share that with you guys today. I want to read you guys something from the Bible again. This is from John. So this guy John wrote down Jesus' words. It actually says this. It says, Jesus replied, "All who love me will do what I say. My Father will love them, and I will come, or we will come and make our home with each of them." So this is actually Jesus talking, right? And he's saying, I want to come and make my home with people, with you. I want to come and be with you, and I want you to be with me. Now this is amazing. This blows my mind, because this is actually God speaking, because Jesus is God, right? And if you don't really know the whole idea behind it, that's cool. You might be able to find that out later on. But Jesus is God. So to think of like God actually wanting to have this relationship with us, it's absolutely amazing. Now I know when I say that, some people think, you know, God was like really lonely up in heaven, like sitting on a corner by himself, kind of, you know, just by himself. So he wanted to make some friends. So he decided, yeah, he'll come down and make some people friends, you know. But it's not that at all. God is God. Like, he's completely self-sufficient. He doesn't need anyone. He's content within himself. But it's because of his love for his creation that he decided to actually leave heaven and come down to earth and live as a human being like us, just to establish this connection with us. Just like he said, to make his home with us, and that we would be with him. And it blows my mind, because he is the creator. He made everything that I've ever seen and ever known, and he actually wants to have something to do with me. And it's not just beautiful sentiment, like it's not just nice words that he said, because Jesus says something later on that gives us a clue as to how he actually put his money where his mouth is. This is something else that Jesus says. He says, "There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you slaves, because a master doesn't confide in his slaves. Now you're my friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me." Now, you guys notice that he has this whole talk about slaves and friends and stuff like that. And that's really because since he is God, right, and we are his creation, he made us, we're rightfully his possession. Like, just like if you were to make something, you would own it. You know, like if I was to make this bracelet, I would own this bracelet. This would be mine. And that's why he does this talk about slaves and stuff. So he says he doesn't want to have that sort of relationship with us, like we're just his possession. What he really longs with us is friendship. He calls us friends. But what I really want to draw your attention to is that first part of the paragraph where it says, "There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends." Like, what Jesus is actually saying is that the highest act of friendship that anybody can do is to give up their life for their friend, is to take the bullet, is to stand in the way, you know. And he actually did that very thing. He actually put his money where his mouth is, and he committed that greatest act of love. So Jesus is his true friend, is his perfect friend, and he proved his friendship with us by giving his own life for us. Now, it's probably good to explain why Jesus had to give up his life to be friends with us and to be connected with us, but I'm not going to do that just yet, because our last session in the series, we're going to explain all of that when we have this big Easter Sunday that we're going to do. But Jesus is amazing because he's not like this religious idea that people have of him. You know, like if you've ever seen the religious pictures of Jesus, he's got long, flowy, blonde hair and stuff. Like I've never seen a Middle Eastern guy with blonde hair, so if you see one, let me know. I'd like to see one. Alright, but he's got this long, flowy, blonde hair, and he's got this weird look on his face, like he's indifferent to everything that happens with us. Like he's indifferent to everything that goes on here, because he's like too much better than us and too much higher than us, you know, that he doesn't want to have anything to do with us. But that's not the real Jesus. That religious idea of Jesus is not the real Jesus, and it actually stops us from thinking of him as this perfect friend. He is this perfect friend who proved his friendship by paying the ultimate price for him. And that's genuine. That's real. That's action. He put his money where his mouth is, even if it meant dying for the sake of this friendship. There's this guy called George Buttrick, and he was a chaplain at Harvard University. So most of you guys have probably heard of Harvard University. Big uni in the States. Really, really smart students go there and stuff. And presidents have come out of that university. And he would talk about how these highly intellectual students would walk into his class, or his office, and they would sit down and they would say, I don't believe in God, right? And this would be his response. He would say to them, great, tell me about this God that you don't believe in, because I probably don't believe in the same one. Okay? And then they'll tell him everything, you know, why they don't believe in God and who they think God is and stuff like that. And he'll let them just go on. After it all, he'll tell them about who Jesus is. Because that's what Jesus is like. He's real. He's genuine. He was action, not just words. And he loved. He is this perfect, true friend who paid. Nothing else about this friendship that Jesus offers that is different to any other friendship that we can ever come across in life. And this is it. I want to read you guys another part. This is in a part of the Bible that's called Hebrews. And it says, for God has said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. God said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. See, Jesus is the only one who can make that sort of claim, that he will never fail us, that he'll never let us go, that he'll never turn his back on us, because he is God. He's perfect. He can make that claim. Maybe other people have made that claim to us, but no one can confidently and truthfully make that claim, because no one is actually perfect. Everybody is inconsistent. Everybody is imperfect. But Jesus is the only one who can make that claim. But I know that not everyone has felt that way about God or about Jesus in the past. I know that some of us, have had loved ones pass away, or we've had some really tough things happen to us all at once, and we've kind of just thought, well, where is God when all of this is happening? How come he's forsaken me? How come he's turned his back on me? And that's really natural to feel that way. It is really natural to feel that. So practically, when I say that, Jesus is this perfect friend who proved his friendship by dying for us, what does that actually mean practically for us? How is Jesus a perfect friend? And I want to explain this, okay? He actually said that he will always be there. But he never said that we won't face any troubles. In fact, he actually said the opposite. He said expect troubles. He expect hardship. He said you will face troubles, because the world that we live in is like that. We do go through things like that. But he did say he'll always be there when they happen. And he did say he'll always pull us through, and he'll always give a hope, and he'll always give us a reason to keep going. He'll always give us a purpose. In fact, you could almost say, like, he didn't promise that he will stop all the storms that well up in our lives, but he did promise to shelter us from them. If that helps you, makes you help understand kind of thing, the whole idea. He didn't say that nothing bad will ever happen to us, but he did say that he'll always be there for us. And there's another part to that bit that I just read. So it says, for God has said, I will never fail you, I will never abandon you. So we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. So I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me? It's like this friendship that we have with Jesus actually gives us confidence. If you ever have seen like bikies on the news or on like newspapers and stuff like that, or just gangsters and stuff like that, you see that they just act crazy. They do some really, really bad, crazy things, and they do it with so much confidence. And sometimes I just look at them and think, how can they be so confident when they do something like that? Aren't they scared that someone will get them back? You know, aren't they scared that someone will come back and find them? And the reason they are so confident is because they're confident in their brotherhood. They're confident in that people have got their back. You know, and that's what friendship can do for us sometimes. It gives us confidence, even if it means sometimes we do the bad thing. But Jesus provides this perfect friendship so that in life we can go on with this confidence, knowing that we'll be able to pull through anything. It doesn't matter what will happen to us. He'll always pull us through it. He'll always make us better for it. We'll never go backwards with Him. And we'll always have a reason and a hope to go on. So Jesus is this perfect friend, and He proved His friendship to us by giving His life to us. And I just kind of want to practically show you, like, maybe how during this Easter period you can tap into that friendship and find something that's a little bit true and real and genuine. So how do you tap into this perfect friendship? How do you find it? And it's just really by honest conversation with Him. It's just by honest, open conversation with Him. Some people call it prayer, but it's not that, you know, kneel by the side of your bed, clutching your hands prayer that you only do before you go to bed, or you only do before you have a meal or something like that. It's just honest, open conversation with a person who is really there, because Jesus is really a person and He's always there. But it's not just knowing that He's there and He's always listening, but it's also knowing that He knows already what's going on with you. That you don't have to explain it to Him. You know, like sometimes when you've got something going on and you just kind of want to talk to someone, and so you talk to your friend, but you have to go through the whole thing and you've got to kind of explain what happened and how you're feeling and stuff like that. You don't have to do that with Him, because He already knows what's going on. He already knows what's happening in your insides. All it means is just having these honest, open conversations. And I'm finishing up, but as you kind of find this perfect friendship, like we hope, and I hope for you guys, I hope for myself, that as you find this perfect friendship, that you also stop putting the pressure on other people to be perfect for you. You know, and stop putting all the pressure on other people to be consistent for you. Because when you find it, what you find is you actually become a better friend to other people, because you've already got that. You've already got that perfect friendship. And I'm kind of hoping that as well, as Drive and stuff, and as we find that relationship with God, people around us will feel attracted to us, because we're really good friends. And we're always really there, because Jesus is always really there for us, you know. And we're going to sing a song to kind of finish off and maybe inspire some of you guys who've never had this relationship or this friendship before to maybe take it on now. Maybe open conversation with Him, honest conversation, and have this friendship with Him. And maybe for some of you guys that have had this friendship in the past, but lately it's felt more like distance than a friendship, that maybe it would revive you, that maybe you'd feel like it's time that you felt that friendship again, that you had it again. So as we sing this song, it's called Love Song, and it was written all about Jesus and His friendship to us and how much He actually did to prove His friendship with us. As we sing it, I hope it inspires you to find that friendship with Him and also provide it to other people, as people see that you've got it. So